Welcome to Framework Fortune and welcome back Framework Fortune community. I'm your host Ben and it's time for another episode of The Last Rip, the Monday through Friday series where we take a look at top gainers on the Nasdaq and NYSE and see if we can find any trades for the next day. Let's not waste any time and dive right into the S&P 500. So the SPY had a pretty nice sell-off there at the beginning of market open all the way down to 430, but was able to rebound. So we are still above this 20-day moving average on the daily chart. The SPY is still moving up. On to the Nasdaq. So first we got BSQR, and this was a trade that I made today. No news on it, just running off of the hype from last week where it had this big explosion, pretty much sold off and then just bounced off the 20 today, climbing all the way up to, where did it get all the way up to? 765. I got in down here at 577 on this green candle here and held it there down to the 20. The 20 day ended up holding and then exploded up there to this $7 area. I was looking for it to try to break 7. And when it started pulling back here, I got out on this indecision candle. If I blow this up, this is what made me get out, seeing the indecision red candle and then a following red candle. And it did drop lower, but it bounced off the 20. So as long as that 20 held up, it just kept climbing, holding most of its gains into after hours. So it could be another play to watch tomorrow. Break at $8, this thing could start going crazy. I made $28.80 there. You can see it was only on 30 shares, but nice little climb. Next, we got XELA, and I've been watching this one. I watched this all week last week after it made this initial little pops, and I was watching it today, and it was just kind of selling off, so I didn't pay much attention to it. But here in Power Hour, it just exploded from that $2 area up to $3, and is still holding most of its gains. So it's a play to keep on watch for tomorrow. OSAT, this one kind of spanked me a little bit, but it did rip harder later on in the day. I saw the climb in pre-market, saw a pullback here, and then it came up here and started consolidating sideways. There was an indecision candle, so I got in on that candle. And then we got another indecision candle right after it, a red candle here, and that one ended up pulling back, so I got in some more there. And it dropped to the 20, and off that bounce of 20, I averaged down a little bit more. So I had 40 shares trying to get in there, and it dropped below the 20, so I had to get out. I had a stop loss in there, and I just got stopped out. And then you can see later in the day climbing all the way to 1080. So unfortunate, but sometimes they don't break out the way you expect them to. And that's why you got to keep those stop losses tight. So I lost 41, but I made 29 basically on another one. It's a $12 loss. Start the week off. I am not too worried about that. Next, we got PBTS. This one, kind of the same pattern as the other ones, having a rip last week and then selling off and then exploding again today. You can see there right there on the 5-minute chart, there was a 20-day crossover all the EMAs when that had that pop. And then it came back down to the 20 and just rode right up it for another big explosion. No news on it either, just a past chart ripper from the prior week. RCAT, this one was not anything during this morning during the live stream. It was not on my radar, but popped up all the way to this 370 and then pulled back to the 20 and was riding up the 20. So when it showed me it was starting to hold above the 20 and starting to push off, I actually got into it. So currently I am still in RCAT. I'm in at 322, as you can see there. Only up $2. It's right around 327 now, but been holding its gains through after hours. So I put a trailing stop in and was expecting it to lock it out for me, but it didn't really start the big drop until after hours. So my trailing stop was canceled because it's a stop market. You can't use market orders in after hours. So I'm still in it because of that. But that's okay. It's holding its gain still above my entry. And I'm going to hold it in tomorrow morning and see if it can get a rip. Next we got NEGG, and I can already see what's going on here. It was going sideways there all day, slowly building up, and then had a big breakout out to 29. It had this big consolidation on the daily chart, broke out last week, and it's just continued this climb up. After testing $30, I would expect a pullback tomorrow. NYSE still not getting as much volume as the Nasdaq. You can see it there. BSQR with 202 million volume, XELA with 169. And all the way down, just millions and millions. And then we go to the NYSE, and stock with the most volume is ODT, which had a pop as soon as pre-market opened and sold off the rest of the day, just still selling off. So there was nothing there. Next we got ANY, only 7 million in volume. Not a lot today, just had a little sell-off there and then a bounce back up from 257 to close to 3 there towards after hours, still holding its gains. On the daily chart though, it does kind of look like it may be ready to pop. You got this downtrend that has come back up and tested again, so break of $3 tomorrow, we could see any maybe climb up to 4. So BON, they received a certificate of land use rights. Anytime a company receives something, that is good to build their human production facility. It looks like this is a recent IPO as well. Very low float, only 8 million. It's pretty much been climbing since it IPO'd and really started taking off today. So could be one to keep on watch. It is above all EMAs now. And I did have one other trade today. I traded CUEN. You can see with all my drawings here. This stock has gotten me. It got me last week and got me today as well. You can see I got in right around here. And right when it was breaking $7, it did run up to $7.70. Probably should have locked it out, but it pulled back to the 20 and held up. And then I had a stop loss in there at 7 if it couldn't hold up 7, and it didn't, and it cracked. And it's continued to sell off. So I only took an $8 loss on that, no big deal. It is one to keep on watch still, because even though it's had these red days, it's still holding above all EMAs, and actually the 50-day just started crossing. BLIN did have a big rip into after hours last week and then continued to run in pre-market. Sold off a little bit today, but still holding the majority of its gain. So after this pullback, we could see it dip down tomorrow to 10. That may be a possible bounce play off of 10, or it could start climbing tomorrow. Looking at it on the 5-minute, it's just been on a nice constant climb. So BLIN still one to keep on watch for the rest of this week. We will be back tomorrow morning for some more live stream day trading, looking to turn green for the week. We'll see what happens. So appreciate everybody joining me as always. Stay safe out there. Until next time.